Sons of Liberty Riders MC, Corona Ride number 3 had a mission behind the ride. Our first leg of the mission was to go by Salon a la mode and just do a ride by in support of her decision to open her doors. She can no longer wait, but it got better than that. We actually got to stop and talk to the owner, Shelly Luther. It was an incredible day, and we're going to show you why small businesses should be allowed to open their doors now and just follow the guidelines put out by the CDC. Not only was Salon a la mode following those guidelines, they were doing it better than most other businesses, especially large businesses. We want everyone to understand the orders put out by the federal government, the orders put out by the state, the orders put out by your county judges are just guidelines. They are not law. In the beginning, when all this started, scientists were basing their decisions based on models that had no data to back them up. And they told us that again and again. If the models are right, guess what? They weren't. Now take a look at this big business versus Salon a la mode. Welcome to COVID-19 Central. Now we did not see any hand sanitizing stations at checkout, but we did see small bottles that they would sell you for $1 after you've had maybe to touch the pen pads and stuff like that, depending on how you were paying for the product. But wait till we get deeper into the business. Who's selling everything? Toys, clothing, you name it, including food and drinks. Yeah. Did you see what that one did? She reached halfway down the stack, lifted the lids over, put them over, and then got one in the middle. Yeah.
Uh-huh. There's more than 10 people in here.
Yeah, there is. I don't either.
I just seen some of them go that way.
Mel probably had to go pee. Even with every small business in Texas being allowed to open their doors today, it's businesses like these that would be your largest contaminators, that would include public transportation. If you're going to shut things down, shut the major contributors. Unbelievable. Let's see, and they're all here touching these screens. Now you can order here on these touch screens, but they had hand sanitizer there, but not everybody was using them and not every one of them was working. We tried. Now for the most part, there were some people that were trying to social distance. But at certain places in the store, you couldn't do it because they just gathered amongst each other. Or maybe they heard Dr. Siegel on Fox News say you had to be around somebody for more than 10 minutes, so don't be around anybody for 10 minutes. It's just another confusing message put out by doctors and scientists that have us not knowing which way's up. And people are beginning to question what they've been told by doctors and scientists. And I'll make that case in point here right now. What's interesting is people back there touching those screens. You know, it was in the beginning that doctors and scientists told us not to wear the surgical masks. Don't run out there and buy them, you don't need them. And especially the N95s that were for the healthcare workers. We have no problems with that.
Yeah,
but just tell us the truth. Not that we didn't need them. Then they finally got around to telling us to wear them, even though they told us not to wear them. On this newscast, we even demonstrated how to make one out of a bandana. The truth is, they didn't know much about COVID-19, and Dr. Fauci said that again and again, using models with no real data. Scared the hell out of the president and scared the hell out of the whole country, which has shut down based on what was going on in New York. Then we had the Daily Cuomo show, full of whining about PPEs and ventilators. So much so we nicknamed him the ventilator. Now it's testing, testing, testing. Meanwhile, small businesses are suffering at the hands of their own government and businesses that get a pass to do whatever, just like you see here. You want unsanitary, we can continue and show you unsanitary. And it's not small businesses. They can get control of it, better control of it than what we see going on out there right now. Our message to Governor Abbott and other government entities in Texas that are making threats that these businesses desperately need to open up: back off, Jack. We're watching you. Don't think you can get away with this. These are guidelines. These are not laws. We still have a constitution. Texans and Americans all across the country are beginning to wake up. They're beginning to demand that their government back off. Let businesses open. Let them follow the guidelines. Let them find out what's right or wrong. Back off. We can do it. We can do it. Let us go about our lives. Let us get our businesses back. Nobody wants to pass this virus on to anybody. Nobody. But as you can see, the government is picking winners and losers, and that's not right. Just because you're a corporation doesn't mean you go to the head of the line. Just because you're a university doesn't mean you go to the head of the line, ahead of the American workers, ahead of small businesses. We've got to be fair about this. And if you're going to shut down one for the fear of contamination, you've got to shut down the rest of them. Yeah. And I suggest you do it now or change what you're doing. Because we can't have our country collapse on top of everything else that's going on. Because this pandemic may not be any worse than the seasonal flu, which takes so many lives because people don't trust their governments and they're afraid to get vaccinated. Not only are the workers of Salon a la mode standing up and the owner, Shelly, the people are standing up. The people of Texas who feel they've been betrayed and the heavy hand of government is keeping us from going forward. They are ready to stand up. They are ready to take action, and they want it now. Government entities should recognize what's going on out there and not follow a agenda, maybe by one of the political parties. They can't slow walk this. This has to happen now. Our country and our businesses need to be saved. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Sons of Liberty Riders MC, Texas Biker Radio. Thank you for listening.